Hi, everyone. Jacqueline Kuhn here with JacquelineKuhn.com, powered by Angels, with an Angels and Astrology video extra. We've got 4 new astrological happenings in this next week. We're going to be covering the events from November 4th through the 7th. We are holding off on covering the Mercury retrograde. We will drop a video on that next Saturday. So this is covering the events from the 4th through the 7th. Does not include the upcoming Mercury retrograde, but please remember we are in the shadow period. So if things begin to get a little lumpy and bumpy, we know that that energy is there. For those of you who don't know a lot about me, and if this is one of the first videos you're watching, I am clairsentient, clairaudient, and claircognizant. Along with aligning your archangels with your astrology, I also do angel-led intuitive sessions and education about the archangels. And you will see throughout this presentation that I have the archangels that you can work with this energy to help you manage through it. There are 15 archangels. 3 of them, Michael, Raphael, and Haniel, are the overseers. All other archangels are tied to the zodiac sign. You'll see them in the picture in order of the zodiac. So we start with Aries, and that's Ariel. We end with Pisces and Sandalphon and all in between. Please feel free to pause and expand the video to take a look at the full list when in your own time. We are in November, which is angel number 11 month. Angel number 11 is create, right? It's creating the future you want. It's 2 ones. And so November is all about getting to the work of creating what you want to have happen. It's not about thinking. It's not about having trust. It's about doing. It's about getting it done. And what's really interesting is the first half of November is Archangel Jeremiel in Scorpio, and then the second half of November is Raguel in Sagittarius. When we're in Scorpio, we get our inspiration from creation a lot from our intuition, going deep inside of ourselves, right? But when we're in Sagittarius with Raguel, it's more external, right? It's a lot more of fun creation energy as opposed to inner work creation energy. But November 11th is all about creation. So make sure that you take advantage of the creative energy flow that should happen this month, so that you can create what it is you wish to see happen. A little bit about angel numbers. So angel numbers are not like numerology. In numerology, you would add up, right? So 11, November as an 11th month in numerology would be a 2. In angel numbers, it's 2 ones. It would be very different because a 2 is a very different number than a 1. So with angel numbers, we look at the number, look at if it replicates itself, then you have that number's energy amplified. I have a full video on my website about angel numbers. It is specially priced for the month of November. It will go to full price in December. So if you really want a 101, actually it's probably like more of a 102, 103, but if you really want in-depth information about angel numbers, feel free to check out that video on my website while it's still specially priced. And it's more of an intro. It's not too advanced, but advanced sessions will be offered next year. As I mentioned, we are in Scorpio season, and Scorpio is Archangel Jeremiel. Our Archangel Jeremiel help us to go deep, right? He's for inner visions. He's for transformation. And he's for having, his name means mercy of God or God uplifts. And it's really about connecting with Source Spirit God, connecting with that energy to go deep into your own needs and wants. And it's also a little bit about insight into what might have happened in the past, your past life or past this life, to know where you have blocks, where you have residual energy blocks, where are you still carrying old baggage. Archangel Jeremiel can help with that as well. And so for divine insight, if you feel, if you would like to write down this prayer or take a picture of it, you may want to pause on the video right now, because this is a prayer to Archangel Jeremiel to help you gain divine insight, right? Insight through going through your thoughts and memories, in a way to heal and grow. So you might, if you're interested in that, pause the video so you can take that down. But we are in Archangel Jeremiel season. Before we go deeper into the astrology, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get all of the updates. If you are on Facebook and you're not a member of our Facebook group, you are missing on a free tarot reading every month. Tarot Tuesdays are on a Tuesday in the month. November's will be on the 11th at 6 p.m. Central Time. If you can't make it live, but you're in the Facebook group and you have a question, the Facebook group gets one free question a month. I'll answer it via email. Send me your question and I will pull some cards, do some channeling, whatever is needed to get the answer to your question. A couple of other things of note. The 2026 is going to be here sooner than you know. It's 2 months, a little over 2 months away now. If you want a 2026 forecast reading, book right now, and you will also get a free Angels and Astrology calendar for 2026. This is a calendar that I created one for myself last year. It has all of the astrology, all of the, archangels, what's happening month to month, in kind of like a notebook type format. So if you're interested in something like that, book that forecast reading. You can get one free with the forecast reading. And for those of you who are in the Chicagoland area or the northwest suburbs, or maybe even southern Wisconsin, I have my Zoom background, as you can see, is my store. My new store at Painted Tree in Killdeer. I will begin to have in-person classes and readings at the store beginning November 22nd. So for any of you who are local, we can get together in person. Please drop by the store. There is merchandise for every archangel that's, tied to the zodiac, and monthly classes are going to be available in store, free, and for a small fee. Okay, let's talk about the 4 big major astrological events that are happening now through November 7th. The chart is today, a little earlier this afternoon. I pulled a fresh chart. You can see there's still a bunch of trines going on out there, right? Those big triangles, those big red triangles, and a couple of big blue ones. So there's a lot of trines going out. So there's a lot of energy hitting each other. We're going to cover Mars moving into Sagittarius. We'll cover the full moon in Taurus, Venus in Scorpio, and Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is now direct for its final charge through Taurus, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and a little bit about historically what happened the last time Uranus was in Taurus, because there are some, I firmly believe in learning from history. If you don't, you are apt to repeat mistakes. So want to talk a little bit about that too. So Mars in Sagittarius, Mars moves into Sagittarius tomorrow and remains there through most of December. What's really interesting, what's really kind of cool about this is, Mars is all about energy, expansion, a little bit of conflict, right? Mars is that tough, kind of hit you where you are, right? Kind of energy. It's just boom, I'm here. And Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter. And so when you put this combination together, you kind of see that you might be a little more adventurous, right? So because Jupiter is really about travel and learning and uh, higher ideals, etc. And so Mars is amplifying that with big energy and big expansion. So this is going to be a time where if you have ambitions, if you have goals that are big and bold and expansive for you, would be a great time in beginning them. If you haven't begun them, create them. You'll get the energy and charge to put them together. It's also going to be a time where you'll be able to align your actions with truth and higher ideals, right? Because Jupiter is really about the higher order of thinking. And with the doing energy of Mars, you'll really be able to take actions, really a philosophical, right? Philosophical drive, and maybe bring your life more centered to your and aligned with your higher ideals. Exploration, travel, learning. Oh my gosh. So some of you may have trips planned, some of you may be thinking about them. Mars and Sag is going to actually, spur you to want to do something like this. Or even learning something brand new. You may be thinking about, oh, I don't know anything about XYZ subject, or I really need to know more about this AI stuff. Great time when Mars is in Sagittarius to pick up a new topic and to really do some active learning and something that you really want to get a grasp of. And then it's a very optimistic energy, because in Sagittarius, you kind of have faith that it's going to happen. And Mars is like, intense, make it happen. And so this is kind of like the Sagittarian fun. Yeah, we'll get it done. It'll happen. It'll work out, with Mars saying, do it, do it, do it, right? And kind of a little bit of a balance between the two, turning some optimistic action into actual, reality. But with all aspects, there's kind of the yin and yang. And while this transit does encourage bold moves, make sure you don't actually act unless you have planned appropriately. Bold move without the correct planning could spell disaster, particularly when you think that we're going to be under a Mercury retrograde over half of this energy. So don't go head first without thinking through, what might happen if, right? Have some fallback plans, have a mitigation strategy, but make sure you plan it out. This energy is really going to impact Aries, Taurus, Gemini, and Sagittarius more than any other signs. So if you are of these signs, you may want to pause right now and read through how it will impact you. For everyone, however, the archangels to lean into during this energy, Uriel for wisdom, right? Archangel Uriel is all about wisdom. He carries the book of wisdom, right? So wisdom to make smart choices, to think before acting, to kind of not just jump. Raguel is all things Sagittarius. He's also relationships, but he's all things Sagittarius. So for Sagittarian energy, we always lean into Raguel. And then I pulled up Archangel Michael, and I added Michael because I call this protection from wrongdoing. And it's kind of like while you may be in the energy and others might be in this energy and have good motives, right? Pure, honest, trustful motives. There are going to be people out there who in this energy are going to take advantage of people, right? You've got scammers and schemers and planners and con artists out there, and they will thrive during this energy as well. So I brought in Archangel Michael to remind you that he's your protection from wrongdoing, not just evil entities and lower energies, but also from wrongdoing. So make sure you keep him close during this energy, because you'll probably get a lot more people who are making you an offer and you're like, wait a minute, that seems too good to be true, right? So Archangel Michael, protect me, and yeah, it probably isn't true. All right. November 5th, the Taurus full moon. A beautiful, beautiful Taurian full moon. And all things Taurus is Archangel Shamuel, right? And so in a Taurus full moon, we should think about emotional stability and values, right? A Taurus full moon will help us reflect on what really matters to us personally. So take some time during the full moon to really think about what are your priorities, right? What really are your values? What matters to you? Ground yourself, right? Nurture yourself, ground yourself, do maybe some grounding activity, a grounding meditation, and some self-care. Maybe it's a good day to do something like get your nails done or get a massage or something of that sort. As all things Taurian, financial and material, Taurus is finances too, right? And so this is going to be a really good time to reflect on your financial and material security and comfort. And when you reflect, always be grateful for what you currently have. Reflection with gratitude, being grateful for what you have, will allow you to bring more. And then the full moon may also have you thinking about leaving behind some old habits, and deepening the connections you have with those that are closest through you. So releasing old things and strengthening what you have. And Archangel Shamuel can help with that because he's the finder, right? He will find the peace, the security, the inner peace, the inner balance that you are looking for. So take advantage of the full moon to do some of this work and kind of re-energize yourself, right? And go through that little checklist, particularly financially as we go into the holidays, to reflect on what you have, the gratitude, and maybe even take a look and put a preliminary plan together of what your budget might be for those of you who have a lot of folks you buy for over the holidays. Our next big energy, which starts November 6th through December 5th, is our Venus in Scorpio. Yeah, so Venus in Scorpio is really, really amplifying that relationship emotional energy. It takes it deep. It makes it like go to your inner depths, and it's also a great time to find a soul connection if you don't feel you have one. It also, because we're going deep, right? Scorpio is all about inner reflection and making sure that we think about things, and I always say deep, but I just kind of want to say it's not surface, right? It's very genuine. It's very authentic. It's not on the surface level. Honesty and healing and love. So it's a time to transform some of your relationships, and deal with them, in a forthright way. Creativity. Venus is a planet of love and creativity. Scorpio, what can help that creativity be expanded and help you express yourself in very incredible ways. And then there's also a financial focus. And Scorpio can, Venus is a little romantic, Scorpio is a little more strategic, and so Scorpio can actually, help you as you look through those investments. So with the full moon the day before, and then Venus and Scorpio the following day, a really good time to take a look at your finances. And while Scorpio, Cancer, and Aries are most impacted by this transit, Taurus will also be impacted because a full moon in Taurus and Venus in Scorpio, it's its opposite sign. it may stir some relationship stuff up, right? So Taurus is going to feel really good about the full moon being in its sign on the 5th, but that very next day, Venus is directly opposite. So relationship dynamics and the financial reflection, you may get some conflict there. So just be aware of that. And then Pisces and Virgo are going to have lunar trines during this time. And then the Mercury retrograde that happens later this month will add a little emotional complexity. So Pisces and Virgo, you may have a little difficult time as well, particularly because that Mercury retrograde that's coming in 4 or 5 days after this happens, 3 or 4 days, I should say, after this happens. So be watchful of that. To help you through this transit, to help you through energy right now, of course, all things Scorpio is Archangel Jeremiel to help you reflect, meditate, go deep. If you need help with your relationships, that's Archangel Raguel. He is all about relationships, harmony in relationships, finding the right relationships, bringing new people to you. And if communication, as when we talk relationships and we talk about expressing what we need and expressing ourselves, that's communication, and that's all Archangel Gabriel. And so if you want to make sure that what you say is being heard and that you are being heard clearly, you may want to do a little meditation and make sure that your words are phrased properly, and that Archangel Gabriel can help you with that. I could probably used a little Archangel Gabriel be with me before this video recording, because I seem to be tripping over my words. So Archangel Gabriel, please help me as I get through this video. Thank you. And then if that wasn't enough, we have another significant moment with Uranus now going direct into Taurus and remaining there until April of next year. And I think it's toward the end of April, so like through April of next year. So this is really significant because we had Uranus was in Gemini briefly, over the summer, and then retrograded back into Taurus for a little bit, and now is direct as it goes and completes its Taurian cycle, and really, really focuses on money values, physical and land and security, right? So earthly things, money values, land, physical security. To kind of talk about Uranus and Taurus, it has revolutionized how we think about money and stability and value since 2018. Because Uranus was in Taurus during COVID. How we thought about money and stability then is very different than how we think about it now, because we were homebound. We were 100% buying on the internet. Some of us were going out to the stores that were open. A lot of people were doing delivery, and you were probably spending a lot of money on things and spending more on the things because of all these delivery fees and charges, etc. And some of you liked it so much, you continue to do so. The whole order and pickup, contactless pickup, they bring it out to you. That's still very big. So how we think about how we're spending our money, how we're, what we value with regards to time and resources, has been changed. Paying electronic payment versus cash, although I love cash will always be king to me, but so many people don't carry any cash. Everything is electronic, right? It's Apple Pay or Google Pay or Venmo or whatever. So this is really huge as it pushes towards its final days. So you can expect more shifts in how people make money, the gig work, the gig economy, going to work in an office. Now it is coming back again. Cryptocurrency, digital banking, are all going to gain even more traction than they did before. It wasn't too long ago where, you had to physically go, physically write a check, cash a check, and go to a bank. even if you have a paper check, you can now take a picture of it with your phone and it automatically goes and they accept it. I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on, right? So really financial innovation and a different way of transacting financially will continue to happen and sort of peak and apex through 2026. Taurus is all about security. Uranus challenges the status quo. So, what is security to you? What is security in the world? Uranus is challenging us to redefine that, to get, our internal resilience to external change. Because we are in a period where our security at home and globally is all being challenged. I mean, how many years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, you never saw a Ring camera outside of someone's house. Now, most people have one, and so much so that if something happens at your house, your neighbor across the street might have an angle better than your own, right? So we are craving this security, and we're coming up with innovations and technology to help us all feel more secure in our homes. Earth and environment, Taurus is the land, right? And breakthroughs in agriculture, sustainability, how we use our land, how we farm our land, how we get resources from our land, all should come to a conclusion in 2026, including here in the US, going back and using our resources and drilling our own oil and taking the resources out of our land and not getting resources from others globally. We've got rich resources. And so rethinking and going back to some of those ways that were stopped, but rethinking how to do it and still do it responsibly. The personal liberation. So if you're a fixed sign, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, if you're a fixed sign, particularly, you may be feeling a real strong urge to reinvent yourself, to go out there and like completely reinvent what you're doing, who you are, where you're working, moving, right? So Uranus impacts, personal liberation. And since it's in a fixed sign, other fixed signs may be impacted by this. So if you are in a fixed sign, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, Uranus moving direct into Taurus should feel like the flag at the beginning of the race, that you should be okay to act on those changes you've been long considering but haven't pulled the trigger on, particularly for those fixed signs, right? You're going to feel like this is an activation for you, as long as you do your work, right? Because we are going to be in that little Mercury retrograde. We've got those other things, but as long as you've done your work and you've been planning and considering it, now may be a really good time for those changes. And given all of this, the Archangels are Metatron really for your plan. Is this really the plan you should be on? Am I going down the right path? Am I doing the right things? That's Archangel Metatron. Archangel Ariel is all things earthly. She is Mother Earth, and Taurus rules the land and the environment as well. So as you are looking for how you can be a better student and consumer on this earth and in the environment, Archangel Ariel can help there. And Shamuel for all things Taurus, right? He was up on the full moon slide as well. So remember, all things Taurus, Shamuel, he's there to help you navigate and find that peace and balance and that you crave, right? And find ways to make it happen, which is why I have him depicted as that magnifying glass, because he's the finder that you seek. If you seek security and stability, he will help you find it. All right, I now am going to pull an Archangel card for a message to the collective for the next 5 days. Today is Monday. The next video will land Saturday. So this is our message from one of the archangels for Monday through Friday. What do they want us to know? And we have Archangel Sandalphon come forth with gentleness. I love this message. Be gentle with yourself. Surround yourself with gentle people, situation, and environments. So we've got a lot of heavy, come at you, punching kind of energy going on this week. So remember to be gentle with yourself, have compassion for yourself, and walk with gentleness towards others. It's a sign of love and respect. So thank you for watching. I will be back on Saturday with some incredible retrograde energy and video. And until then, please be peaceful. Bye for now.